Alrighty, guys, I went 4-1 on my 5 personal sports bets on my website yesterday. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every single one of my personal plays here today, you may want to think about signing up for my all-inclusive full access board member package. But before I talk a little bit more about that, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my NBA free pick video here today. Actually, it's our part 2 video for Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. Happy hump day to you. Weekend's right around the corner. And of course, my name is Brock Page, and I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. And once again, guys, we're coming off a solid 4-1 day in all of my personal plays on that site yesterday. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every single one of my personal bets here today, the only way you can do that is to join my full access, all-inclusive board member package. Not only do board members get access to my board member podcast, you also get access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day until April 1st. I currently have over 580 members who are signed up and active on my website right now. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. What I do on my website is actually share with you which one of these free plays on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Pistons at the Thunder, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Oklahoma City's minus 11.5, totals 231 and a hook. And for a team laying double digits here, OKC's had a tough time covering the number recently. They failed to cover in their last 4 straight. They may have to go to work without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's currently questionable with an ankle injury. When it comes to rebounding the basketball, no one does it worse on defense than Oklahoma City. These guys are dead last in defensive boards a game. Now, they're going to have to slow down James Wiseman, who averages nearly 9 rebounds a night with his new team. Meanwhile, Jaden Ivey's leading the active roster in points per game. And believe it or not, guys, the Pistons are currently 10-3 against the point spread against Western Conference opponents on the road. When it comes to the injury report, Burks, Bogey, Magruder, and Stewart, they're still out for Detroit. Meanwhile, for OKC, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lindy Waters, they're day-to-day. Keep an eye on them. Now, when it comes to the total, OKC went 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Detroit saw their last 3 straight on the road fall under the total as well. They're also 7-3 the under in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Pistons plus 11.5, under 231 and a hook. Next game, Clippers, Grizzlies, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Memphis is minus 4, totals 233. Now, the red-hot Grizzlies won their last 7 straight. And they've been nearly perfect at home. Memphis is 33-5 in the FedEx Forum, and they're the best field goal defending team at home in the game. Ja Morant has a handful of steals on this season and grabs just about 5 defensive boards per contest. Now, he's also the team's leading points getter, and he shoots it pretty well from the field. And speaking of shooting, Desmond Bane, he's drilling nearly 41% of his shots from beyond the arc. They're facing a Clipper team who's going to work without Paul George, Marcus Morris, Brandon Boston, and possibly Norm Powell here today. And out of 27 contests this year as the underdog, the Clippers got the W only 8 times. The biggest issue this season has been their offensive production. They're scoring fewer points a game than most clubs in the West. When it comes to the total, oddly enough, LA is 23-14 of the over in their road games. They also saw 6 out of their last 10 meetings with Memphis get over the line. As a matter of fact, Memphis averaged 119 points a game in those very meetings I just mentioned. Give me Memphis minus 4 over 233. Next matchup, it is going to be Lakers at the Bulls, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. The LA Lakers are minus 2, totals 226.5. Now, the Lakers are in the top 5 in road scoring. And they grab more offensive boards away from home than most clubs in the league. Now, they could also see the reemergence of LeBron James here tonight. At least that's what it looks like. He is definitely possible to suit up after battling that foot injury. Now, LeBron's been good for nearly 30 points a game this year, along with 8 rebounds. Meanwhile, Anthony Davis, he averages nearly 13 boards a game himself, and AD's also scoring 25 points a night. Now, they're facing a Chicago team who lost recently to the likes of the Clippers, Sixers, and Kings. And in the Bulls' last 10 meetings with the Lakers, well, Chicago took the loss 7 times. As far as this season's concerned, the Bulls' biggest issue has been their offensive production at home. They score fewer points a game in their own arena than most clubs in the East. Now, injury-wise, Caruso and Green are questionable. Justin Lewis is out. Meanwhile, for the Lakers on the other side, Mo Bamba's still out for them. LeBron is also day-to-day. When it comes to the total in this one, LA's gone 64% to the over in their East Coast road trips. Meanwhile, Chicago saw 8 out of their last 13 against Western Conference opponents at home get over the total as well. Give me the Lakers -2 over 226.5. Next game, Jazz Spurs, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Utah's -6, totals 234.5. But for a team laying a couple of buckets on the road here, the Jazz are playing some pretty bad basketball. They actually lost their last 4 straight, and they allowed 127 points a game in those losses. And out of 37 total road games this year, the Jazz got the W only 13 times. They're facing a San Antonio team who covers in 50% of their home games themselves. And even more recently, the Spurs covered against the likes of Atlanta, Memphis, and Orlando. Devontae Graham, he's scoring 14 points a game with his new ball club. Meanwhile, Trey Jones is scoring over a dozen points a game himself. Now, when it comes to the injury report, Birch, Johnson, Vassell, and Sochan, they are inactive for San Antonio. Meanwhile, for Utah on the other side, Gay, Clarkson, and Sexton are still out. Lauri Markkanen's also questionable. When it comes to the total, the Jazz saw 9 out of their last 10 get over the number. They're also 70% to the over in their road games. Meanwhile, San Antonio on the other side, they are 22-16 to the over in the AT&T Center. Give me San Antonio +6 over 234.5. Next matchup, it is going to be T-Wolves at the Suns, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Phoenix is -5, totals 236. Now, the Suns are playing some real tough defense at home. They're actually in the top 5 in the entire NBA in defensive points per contest. They're nearly in the top 5 in defensive field goal percentage as well. DeAndre Ayton has a handful of blocks on the season, and he also grabs 7.5 defensive boards a game. Meanwhile, Devin Booker leads the squad in scoring with 28 points per contest. Now, they're facing a Minnesota team who has a losing record on the road. And in their last 10 meetings with Phoenix, the T-Wolves took the loss 8 times. Now, Minnesota's biggest issue this year has been their rebounding. These guys are currently in the bottom 10 in offensive boards, and they're also grabbing fewer defensive rebounds per contest than most clubs in the West. Now, when it comes to the injury list, looks like Towns, Prince, Noel, and Edwards, they're all currently listed as questionable to suit up, so keep an eye on them. Meanwhile, for the Suns, they're mostly healthy, and they should see the return of Kevin Durant here tonight. Now, total-wise, 4 out of Phoenix's last 5 home games did get over the total. They're also 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Now, Minnesota saw 4 out of their last 6 on the road get over the total themselves. Give me Phoenix -5 over 236. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Kings at the Blazers, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Sacramento's -14, totals 235.5. Now, Sacramento scoring more points a game than any other club in the NBA. De'Aaron Fox scores a team-high 25 points a game. He's also making 51% of his field goals. Meanwhile, Kevin Huerter is drilling 40% of his shots from beyond the arc. Now, they're facing a Portland team who's going to work without all of their stars. Nurkic, Grant, Winslow, Simons, and Lillard, and Baji, they're all out. Meanwhile, Reddish and Watford, they are also listed as doubtful. But even when these guys are mostly healthy, the Blazers do have a losing record at home. And they're also the worst 3-point guarding team at home in the game. Now, total-wise, Portland went 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Sacramento saw 7 out of their last 10 get over the total themselves. Give me the Kings minus 14 over 235.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Give me Detroit plus 11.5 under 231 and a hook. Memphis minus 4 over 233. Lakers minus 2 over 226.5. Spurs plus 6 over 234.5. Phoenix Suns minus 5 over 236. With my next and final pick for the video, give me the Kings minus 14 over 235.5.